Uh, I'd say it's kind of been in the shadows, right? I
Oh,
mean,
nice.
I was the kid in the back of the class daydreaming, and the teacher's like, "Seth, huh? What? Huh?" So, yeah, I wish they would have recognized that I like to create stories in my head and maybe developed that, but instead it was always, Seth, you need to get back into class. You're never going to amount to anything unless you focus, focus, focus.
Ooh,
I had that type of upbringing, private school, right? So
I'm
anyway,
there.
I've spent my entire life going against maybe my natural talents. I was terrible in math, so I went and became an engineer, and not just any engineer, right? An aerospace engineer, which
Oh, wow.
means I had to take calculus 1, 2, 3, and for vector calculus for fluid dynamics and orbital mechanics. So, that was probably not the smartest move, but and then I don't have the best memory. And so what did I do? I became an attorney, which you kind of need to know the law and remember all. Is people going to see this? It's probably not the best thing to say. My boss is on the watch. No, but it's seriously, the whole time I've been just kind of telling stories to myself, and I have been writing all the way through. I mean, I discovered boxes of stuff I've written in high school and college that I don't even remember writing, but it
Mm,
was really just because I like to do it out in the forest and for enjoyment. I never thought I would publish anything, or at least I never thought I would publish anything until I retired. But I don't know. I just decided with Amazon allowing you to self-publish and all these other companies doing this stuff, I was like, let me just try it. It's a lot of work, but it's been way more rewarding than I thought. I didn't, and
awesome.
I also just, I expected to, publish this thing. Nobody reads it, and basically me just putting in those, what do we call those things? Lending libraries that people put.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm just gonna stuff them in there, but
yeah.
surprisingly, people are reading this book and it's doing pretty well. So, I'm just thrilled. I'm over the moon.
Oh, that's awesome. I like the Over the Moon. We're gonna talk about that later, right? Yeah,
Oh,
I actually
well,
read it.
I am.
Yeah.
I did do orbital mechanics for a while. So yeah, let's
That's awesome. That's super cool. Well, that's awesome. I totally get the wanting to stick all the paperbacks in. I
yeah.
have so many lending
I,
libraries
I
near me.
I got my little
Yeah,
book here and I'm just like,
yeah,
okay, where are they? Where are they? I'm just gonna stuff them in there. It's kind of a costly thing to do, but it's
yeah, 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 yeah. No, totally. Well, that's awesome. I love how you said that they're like in the shadows because that's how I think, because some people either do it, I think, or that's kind of how it is, right? As a teacher, I cringe when I hear someone because I've heard so many people say that. And I was very blessed that I did not hear that from, I went to private school too. I didn't hear that from teachers, but like where I was at, but like there's so many people that I've talked to from like my region and stuff at other schools. And I was like, what were people doing? Like, as an educator, like I look for my kids that like to do art. I have a kid right now is writing poems. I'm like, his first poem, it's pretty good. His last
yeah.
poem, holy moly. I was like, dude, we gotta publish this, even if you do it, under, a different name. I was like, but
I got
it's
lucky having
amazing,
you
right?
because you know how to do that kind of thing.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, I do podcasts, I do that. I used to I was originally in art. Yeah, so but it's like it's always interesting, I think, to see people that have skills, right? And I can't remember which like famous author I was listening to, but he was like, yeah, I was told by my English teacher I would never write a book or whatever or finish anything or whatever. And he was like dedicate his first one to him. I was like, I just thought
Oh,
that blew my
that's
mind. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It was awesome. Brandon Sanderson actually has a professor too that was kind of interesting. Yeah, that and I thought that was kind of funny. So
Yeah, I've watched,
that's
some of your guests have said the same thing, which is like they just kind of were writing for fun in the sun. And then others were like, well, I wrote my first story in high school and my teacher got it, and
yep.
they basically came out of the gate writing. I wonder sometimes what it would have been like had I had that,
Mm.
whether I would have been a famous author or published a bunch of stuff by now. But at the same token, right? I mean, it's your life experiences that go into your books. And
Yeah,
I've had
yeah, yeah,
7 careers in my life, and I've taken something from each one of those. When you start with a new career, you start at the bottom. You got to
yeah,
climb your way up and learn all
yep,
this stuff. Well, all of that kind of was born into my books. When beta readers who know me read it, they're like, "Oh, dude, I remember that night. when that happened, and it's in the book now. And so,
That's cool.
having all those experience, I think maybe makes the book a little bit better.